Okay, we're
I think you do a great job, Tom, explaining such a very complex topic out there.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Thank you. We've spent a lot of time on it, so I should have a little bit of an idea of what I'm talking about.
Oh, yes. Okay, roll call. We are starting at 8:36. Is the recorder on?
It is on.
All right, 8:36. We are calling our Finance Committee meeting to order. We have myself, Committee Member Larry Canning and Kim Campworth, and our guest, Evelyn Gleason. No comments from the public? Unless there's any comments from Evelyn? No. Okay. Sorry.
We have no old business, so we can jump right into new business and any questions on the bills that we may have.
You know, Tom, just a few, but pretty much some of it got answered out there, okay?
Sure.
I just see obviously all our payments that we have to make to the architects, right?
Correct.
On this. And that totals, what, 167,557. And this is going to be billed to the construction bond, right? We can
A portion of that. That's a combined payment for some of our summer projects that we have going on right now that are outside QSCB, but then a larger chunk of that is also a portion to the QSCB. So as I mentioned out there, I'm going to, for FY17's budget, I'm going to create a sub-capital account that will be identified for QSCB projects only, so that it'll be easy to track. So anything that we pay for services, design professionals that relate to QSCB projects are all going to be billed out and expended out of that particular account.
Okay.
So we can keep a running total of what we've expended.
But it's just not separated here.
It's not separated there, correct.
All right, okay. Now, as far as what we're getting for our money, I see that Dr. Kendall passed out this. Obviously, there's more extensive stuff. I mean, are we going to have access to looking at, and I'm not an architect, and I don't want to claim to be one. I just would like to see it.
Absolutely. Whatever documents that we're provided, we will provide the board full access to any and all documents.
Okay.
There's nothing secretive.
And I'm not saying that.
No, and I'm not suggesting there is, but yeah, absolutely, sure.
It's going to be a good
And
learning experience.
Well, it's exciting. Everybody wants to know, and we want to be able to share that with all of the taxpayers and our community members and other parents.
Was there designs from the architect on stuff?
There has been no design work in terms of specifics. What they've done is schematic designs for layouts of where things could go and where
but
things
no
could feasibly fit. No actual designs where you could, look at it and see, what the interior is going to look.
Are we going to be
all been
presented?
layout schematic stuff right now to this
Will
point.
we be presented, say, like 3 designs to choose from and vote on? Is that how it's going to work?
We can talk to the architect about options. We're looking at doing things as economically as we can, yet still look as
well,
nice
here's
as
my
possible.
point. Here's what I'm getting at.
Sure, go right ahead.
230 was a complete disaster with their construction and their remodeling of their buildings. I mean, it was just, I would hate to be in their shoes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
Doing our stuff. So.
No,
that wasn't the architect. That was the board's direction of what they wanted.
I don't know.
My experience
Yeah,
has been you tell them what you want, and then they draw you the.
Well, that's what I just asked. Are we going to be able to?
But they wouldn't give you 3 options.
Or I don't even know if it's 3
because
or
it
2 or
costs
whatever.
money. I mean, if you want to pay for that,
well,
it's about $6,000.
What I don't want is backlash from the community like 230 got.
Because the board asked for things like round windows.
Did you see those buildings?
But that's what the board directed the architect to build.
I was there.
Well, what's our role then? That's what I'm asking. What are we going
Well, I
to?
think we would tell them what you want in there. You want, do you want a gym, or you want a fitness room, or you want a whatever. but not,
The design of it.
you know, and if you want, and it has to be
Well, the
round,
biggest-
they want,
the biggest
they want it
complaint-
state of the art, they want it most expensive.
The biggest
Fine,
complaint
that's
from the
fine.
taxpayers, because I follow this real close, was the facade, was the building outside. Not necessarily what was inside, everybody was happy with that.
No, because
But-
even inside, I mean, have you ever seen a classroom with round
Well,
windows?
Listen.
Where?
More of the problem was the way it looked on the outside than anything else over
There was
there.
a couple of things. I was there during that project.
Okay.
The first thing was the architect that developed it. That was their first school, and it was they were
That
very
says a lot.
high-end
It's
architecture.
horrible looking.
Yeah, they were a very high-end architectural firm.
Okay.
They did Navy Pier, very eccentric. So they took everything in an eccentric position, and once that started rolling, it got out of hand.
Okay.
And when they did the project, they did the entire project. The board approved the entire project at once.
Oh, boy.
So that's why it went 42 million over. They were just hell bent on this project, and it was a runaway train. That's why I'm real deliberate with you guys talking about the tentative piece, so we can change our course
Right.
as we go along.
So each building, you know, these field houses will kind of look like the building, hopefully in some
Well,
respect.
and to that end, I would say, we worked with ARC, was it 99, when we did all the upgrades and the new windows?
The
and
facility over at
When they
Hillcrest locker
added
rooms.
that piece onto Bremen,
Yeah.
you would swear
It was there, yeah.
that was there when the building was built, and I
That's
was
what I'm
there.
getting.
Yeah.
That's
So,
what I'm-
Hillcrest was the same, Oak
you go by
Forest is the
Trinity
same.
High School?
Yeah.
Go by Trinity High School. Their addition looks like somebody just stuck it there. It does not match the rest of the building. And every time I go by
That's what
there.
I'm talking about, I want to avoid
Well,
here.
ARC, I would say, from my experience with them, that's not who they are. I mean, what they built for us in that design, the windows at Tinley,
This
the
library.
addition to Bremen,
This that we're sitting
this
in.
library,
Yeah.
it
Fits.
looks like it belonged here
Fits
from
the
day one.
community,
And I
fits
think
the-
that's a credit to that.
And
firm.
here's the reality.
So you're not
of
gonna
it.
see stages like Lincoln Lakes.
We're going to do the best we can within the budget constraints that we have. You can get anything to be a perfect match, but you're not going to build a brick and mortar field house. The cost to do that would be
Oh, no,
absorbent.
we talked about the big
You're
cement
talking
walls.
about a slab wall that may have a brick etched into it on the exterior to get it to look like existing, but it's not going to be a perfect match. I can share that with you. I mean, we will certainly, as the design rolls
you'll
out,
present that to us
we
and
will
we'll be
share
able to
those
see it.
designs with everyone so that everybody understands exactly what we're getting, how it's going to look before we start, putting a shovel in the ground to build it.
But isn't it correct, Tom, that if you ask them for 3 designs, you're gonna get the price times 3? Because there's drafting time and.
Yeah, we'll give them direction.
Yes.
Well, maybe facade wise, I mean, not necessarily structural wise.
Well, there's research that has to go.
Same.
There's research that has to go into, the facilities that we want them to create for
Yeah, it's
us.
kind of like what I was talking earlier about precise versus rough.
Uh-huh.
We can give you some rough direction, but they get extremely precise. And when they get extremely precise, it
But
takes
then
time and
to like Larry's
money.
point, I can tell you from the Park District, when we wanted to build an addition to the rec center, you gotta have a picture. People
Right.
relate to,
Yeah,
absolutely.
here's what it's
Yeah,
gonna look
absolutely.
like.
We will have renderings for sure,
Oh, good.
definitely,
But on the other hand,
And
you don't want
open for the
anybody
public to
be
come look at them
received.
and.
Right.
sure.
That-
Now, I'm not saying models with, detail. You're talking a lot of
pictures.
dollars for that,
Pictures. Big,
but
nice
renderings of
Yeah.
what those will look like and how, and they can, tie those in with the existing building and add those on. Sure.
And that's what they did in Tinley with the rec center, the Benton Housing Center. They had it in libraries and
Sure.
they had it in their
Right.
schools for people to come. School, for parent-teacher conferences, they had them set up there.
Absolutely.
So to,
Right.
But they had a 3D model too.
Yeah.
Yes.
John used to carry it around the meetings.
Oh.
Okay, thanks.
But of one design, once they find it.
Okay, but I want to point out the windows here, I just literally was talking to him about, I was like, is that actual curvature, window curvature, or did you have illusion? And it's literally an illusion, because those curved
Well, I think that it's beautiful,
Are
the
like-
build out here.
they're like quite.
It's out of our budget. Let's say that. I would not be in agreement
No,
with that.
you all know me by now. I'm not extravagant when it comes to spending money, but I'll tell you what, I don't want public coming down on all of us saying, it looks like spaceships, it looks like a prison, it looks like a toilet seat on top of Soldiers Field.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I lived that nightmare once.
So you have
And
experience
I don't
and you
think
know.
you'll see that with ARC.
No.
That's not the kind of.
No, not at all.
We'll be conservative and methodical and
I have a question that
Sure.
I'm twofold. Now, do we run into legal costs with this too, reviewing contracts or anything like that?
As far as what goes?
Paying the attorneys to have to review any kind of contracts that we're signing with anybody to do any work?
We will have bond counsel review all the bond document process. We can have our attorneys review any contracts that are signed after the bid phase to just give them a glance. So that's always a good backup to make sure the attorneys review the contract. But it's not going to be anything extensive in terms of dollars that we're going to have to pay for
And I ask
that.
this just because I ask a lot for the legal bills, and I noticed that June in particular was kind of high, and I know we have a lot going on with particular employment situations.
Correct. And that's
Now,
the main.
do we budget a certain amount for attorney dollars every year? Or
We do.
just don't know? Okay, so
Yes.
where are we at with getting close to a budget for that?
We're under what we budgeted for FY16.
We're under that.
We're
Okay.
under that, yes.
All right.
So I'm not anticipating any increase to the budget for attorney's fees for FY17.
Okay.
Now,
Given
again-
a lot of court time seeming like going on
Pretty-
and whatnot.
pretty steady court time though. And
Okay.
every year you're going to have 3 or 4.
And again,
I hope
it's hard
we
to
don't have those kind of situations.
predict, right? We hope we don't ever have these, but you may have a couple one year and none the next, and then come back and have 5
Yeah.
the year after that. So it's a hard thing to budget
We're
for.
not eating into something else. We're covered
Correct.
for that under
Yes.
a budget. Okay.
Correct.
Okay, so my question was, you answered that on all of these fees here that we're paying, right? And then you're going to set it up somehow so we could review what we're paying for, right?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Does that, am I saying that, does that turf include the track and field? Because I saw in their packet that they do sometimes do track and field as well.
Our tracks are okay. So there'll probably be some repair as they do the turf, but we're not replacing our tracks.
I think a lot of them
The
have
field
been
houses
replaced
are pretty
in the last
good.
couple of
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Yes, they've all been replaced within the last 5
I'm
years.
sorry.
And we'll have inside
Inside
tracks
tracks
too
as
in
well,
the field
right.
houses as well.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't have any more questions on it.
I'm good.
Kim, have anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Well, we don't have any others. We have no over 5,000s. Any questions on CDS?
Can we stop paying it?
Anything else from the committee?
Anything from the committee of the whole? Is that what you said?
No, anything else from the finance committee in terms of other? I do not have anything.
No.
Okay. I just set a new record.
Wow, that is a new record.
Nice.
8:50 p.m.
I said 12 o'clock midnight.
That's what I was just thinking. If I was going to bet, I'd have been a loser.
Yeah.
Well, if any questions come up, you guys know anytime, just give me a call or
Yeah,
shoot me an
thank you.
email, and I'm happy to provide you any and all information that we have on our end to clarify anything that you may need clarification on.
So is the turf just on the football field, or are we doing the baseball field, or how's it for just football?
The football field.
Oh, yeah, one question. Thank you. That was
We
good.
could.
are we going to expand, or are we just doing the sidelines to the end zone, or is there going to be,
It's gonna be all turf.
so like where they do track and that kind of stuff, they can practice with their jumps on the
Well,
turf?
let's clarify. Typically, unless you have an area to relocate the high jump
Okay.
to, which currently
So everything
all four
inside
of our
the track,
schools-
everything inside the track is turf? Is that pretty much it?
Well,
everything
with the
grass is
exception of maybe one end of the horseshoe would be still a component for the high jump.
Okay.
But it's existing.
It's existing.
The grass that we have there now is gonna be replaced by turf.
Okay. Because you know what, that gives a lot of extra practice room for, you could have all four
Oh, sure.
football
Yeah.
teams.
Cheerleaders could be in
Yeah.
outside or whoever.
Right.
That's nice. That adds a lot of practice
Well, I'll
space.
tell you what, in the spring, getting baseball and softball.
Yes, yes.
And kids are not gonna be going home between the field house and the turf outside. People aren't going home at 9, 10 o'clock. And-
Right.
No. HF, I was over there and visited, and everything is done by 7 p.m.
Yeah.
All after-school activities they can accommodate now with their new field house, and everything is completed by 7 p.m.
And I think that's why it's so hard to put a number to what's the cost savings.
It's a great point.
Yes, you know that you're going to save this money on lawn mowing and watering, but how do you put a number to
You can drive by any one of our
And
schools
use-
at 9 o'clock at night.
Going home at a reasonable hour.
9 o'clock at night in the winter, and our kids are just, finishing practices and
And
they're
our
waiting.
coaches may stay with their sports longer too.
Oh, that's true.
Because
know,
the time
they're-
constraint on
They're
that
not
is
home.
not as
If
huge.
you're
Yeah, I can
basketball-
practice after school every day now. I can practice at 3 and be home by
If you're a
5:30
basketball coach, you
versus
have to
waiting
start
to be
practicing
home by,
7 and
8:30, 9
you're home
o'clock.
at 10 o'clock.
Because I have the
It's
third
just
practice of the day.
Quality of life for everybody.
Hey, Bill, are you opposed to putting together something like the gentleman that gave the presentation on the fields? He says, get out and go look at them or something like that. Are you opposed to maybe setting some stuff up to where we can
Yeah,
go
take a-
2:30
Absolutely.
and talk to these people and
Yeah, give me some time to figure out who's got what type of turf and what
Okay.
age.
So
what age
maybe
is the
we can
turf
see
on.
a couple of different examples.
Yeah, we'll see
Oh, that'd be great.
a couple of different styles and different ages, maybe. So you look at an 8-year-old
Oh.
turf and see what that looks like compared to a brand new one.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah,
We'll,
that'd be
we'll
perfect.
strategize that a little
And
bit.
HF, I'll find out, they are having their carpet replaced. I don't know if they were doing it this summer or they're doing it next summer. But if it's going to be next summer, that would be a good one to look at. It's at the end of its life.
Okay.
230 is in year 6, I believe.
Okay.
So they're kind of in
And
the
like the
middle of
Revis
and
is
Revis
brand new.
so-
Evergreen
I
Park
know
is brand
Tinley
new.
Park, it doesn't necessarily have to be just schools. I know Tinley Park District, they got one over there on 80.